Hey, everybody. Hi, it's Elaine with the Holy Shift Show, and welcome to episode 23 of the Holy Shift Show. Today, it's all about, are you mobile ready, Freddie? Are you mobile friendly ready, Freddie? In fact, we could say that it is an M-effing day, because we're going to be talking about being mobile friendly, and if you're at all interested in developing positive relationships with your peeps, the ones you want to serve, then it's likely you will want them to have a good experience. So you want to grow your MFs, your mobile flockers. So here we are. It's our MF day, and it's the rollout day of Google's new algorithm, which is going to affect mobile search for websites. And a lot of people have been mistaken about this, or have been either misinformed or haven't been paying attention to what it all means. But I have an assembly of great people who are flocking around with me to have some fun conversation. And I want to welcome to the Holy Shift Show for the very first time my new friend, Dan Crass. Dan, unmute and say hello.
Hello. How's it going?
Hey, I'm fine. Dan, tell me a little bit about Brand Shepherd and what you do, and why you would be talking about this.
Well, we're a small agency based out of Cincinnati, Ohio. We are generalists in the branding world, and we provide guidance and then also design services for SMBs. Talking about mobile friendly, because one of the niches that we work in is in digital and in websites. So recently I wrote a blog post about just what is a mobile friendly website and why is it important, and that sparked a lot of good conversation and amongst the Google Plus community and also among my clients also. So happy to be here to talk some of that with you.
Yeah, and I love Google Plus. It's where I've met fine friends, made new friendships, and it was actually, I connected with you through Andrea Beltrami, who knows a lot about branding, and that was great to connect with you through her. And now I want to jump on over to Molly Youngblood Geiger, who's very active connecting with the Google partners and Google business community. And say hi, Molly, and tell us a little bit about what you do and why, you're a good person to be talking about this and you're interested.
Sure. Thanks, Elaine. My name is Molly Youngblood Geiger, Design Right for You out of Jacksonville, Florida. I am very active on Google and Google Plus in the Google Partners community, where I'm a Google Partners community ambassador. I'm also very active in the Google Small Business community, where I'm a Google Business Community Advisor and am also a Google Rising Star. The reason for me why mobile is so important is really because as our culture evolves with technology, we are moving more and more closer to activity on mobile. And so with this new algorithm change, it is so important if you have a website to make sure it is mobile user friendly.
Thank you. Okay, and now on over to your Rockness. I like this guy, William Rock, and I call him your Rockness. And if you hang out on Google Hangouts, you've probably seen him on lots of shows talking about SEO and other things. So tell me, William, why should I be talking with you about this?
What an introduction first. Wow. Because I have the Google ball of history of, well, anyhow. I have no clue, based off of the fact that I think it's important in the fact that everybody's gotten really confused with what's been said in the media, and it's kind of a scary topic in the hope that we can actually suppress that a little bit today, because it's not as bad as everybody's talking about.
But I'm talking to you because you like to play around with this SEO stuff. Am I right, William?
You are correct. I'm sorry. I don't like to brag about what I know, but I have been following Google since 1998. I have been a forensic analyst based off of the companies that have hired me to do everything about Google and understand it to the point where we can actually go where mobile's going. Sorry.
Great. Anyway, so thank you. So to my audience, if you've watched the Holy Shift show before, you know this topic is a little geekier than I usually cover. I often wind my topics that have to do with health and wellness and life balance, and this is what I'm about, finding unifying solutions through play. So I want to start off early on saying, let's lighten up about this topic, but let us really put aside our personal agendas about this and listen to understand what somebody else is saying, and then, either in the comment stream or to each other, listen to respond in a way where it's really helpful for everybody. This topic is so huge. If Google is changing the algorithms, then it's changing things for the people who search, right? And it's changing the responses and attention needed by business owners. And of course, business owners are all kinds. They may have had a business for a long time. They may have a huge site with lots and lots and lots of sections. They may be a newer business or someone just starting out. And so the whole topic of configuring for mobile user friendliness is going to be a little bit different for different people. But as I was saying in my conversation with Dan just the other day, before 2009, when my son was just finishing up a graduate program at Carnegie Mellon to get a fancy schmancy degree in human-computer interactive design, I had never even heard the word user experience. But slowly that is working its way into our vernacular, and that's exactly what we're talking about here. When people come to build relationship with us, however they start it, through social media or through networking events or through a Google search, we want them to have an experience that keeps them engaging and helps developing in the experience of knowing us, liking us, and trusting us. Because it's not a given that just because they find our site, they're going to buy what we got. They're going to need to spend a little time. So I'd like to just go on over to Dan for a minute. Dan, in your article, you were talking about how what's driving Google's change here is this slant toward websites being RWD, having responsive web design. Can you talk about that in really user-friendly terms?
Sure, I'll try. The what I was saying in my post is that we're approaching, depending on what white paper you read, we're either at the point of critical mass, or we were sometime in 2014, or we shortly will be. There's all kinds of conflicting perspective on this, but in terms of how much search is happening from smartphones, and why would Google want to make this change right now? I don't really think that it matters so much when that happens, or has happened, or is happening. I don't know that it matters if more searches are happening from a smartphone than a desktop, so much as where the trends are going. And I believe that what we can learn from Google is that at least a high enough degree of searches are happening from mobile devices that it's worth making this change and rustling some feathers and things like that. I think it's a big indicator, a big cue, a clue as to where Google is heading with regard to how they provide content to their user base. I mean, at the end of the day, it's about, we were talking before the show, that it's pretty interesting actually that when you boil this all down, It all comes back to usability, an old-fashioned usability test. And is the content that you're getting when you search from a mobile device, does it meet certain usability requirements? And right now Google seems to be forcing the issue, and so we're ready to make some changes.
So this whole topic, made me start thinking of, what kind of things do I search from my mobile device? What kind of things do I search about on my laptop? And very, very different things.
Mm-hmm.
I tend to do more mobile searches when I'm traveling or when I'm in downtown Baltimore and I'm looking for a different type of shop or store or something like that. But I know generationally, younger folks who have grown up with smartphones, they might be doing a whole lot more search day to day because they just live with their phone. You were even saying there are more and more groups of people who take their phones with them when they're going to Sears and Home Depot and they're looking for an appliance or something, and they're making comparisons. So
Yeah.
Our way of gaining information changes. But if we're buying hard goods, or retail goods, we might be doing that. It occurs to me for business people that travel often, hey, they're using their phones to find locations, to find the good restaurant, they want to eat at so-and-so, or there's a particular type of entertainment venue or sightseeing place they want to visit, while they're traveling. Those things, so it occurs to me, businesses that serve, food, entertainment, those kind of services, as well as local services that want to be found on Google Maps and things that people are looking for locally. Those might be the kind of businesses where this is really ever more important about. Let me throw this back over to you, Molly. What do you think here?
Sure, Elaine. In my humble opinion, I think the shift to mobile has actually been happening for quite some time now. The reason I say that is Christmas of last year, there were some studies done that showed that purchases from mobile went up by 50% compared to the year before. So I think that right there, that statistic speaks very loudly that people are using mobile devices more often than they are their laptop. And in addition to that, it more or less is something that is inevitable in the sense that since we now use mobile devices, I think it also depends on the set of circumstances that somebody's searching for mobile. As you pointed out, somebody may be in the mood to go out to a Mexican restaurant. So what are they going to do? They're going to pick up their smartphone and type Mexican restaurant, whatever their location is. And they're going to get that data to them instantly versus just winging it and stopping in somewhere. So I think more or less that it's become more of a cultural thing to do mobile search, to try and find information and data about whatever type of venue that they're going to go to.
So, William, have you thought about how differently you might be searching because you're an SEO guy, as opposed to Joe Blow down the street, or your next door neighbor? And do you use your mobile device a lot for searching? What kind of things do you use it for?
I do. As an SEO, yes, I look at mobile a little bit in a different perspective. When I pick up my phone, for example, if I look for a restaurant, I want to find that restaurant. I want to find something that's close to me and have a variety of things and have reviews and other information I can go through. So I use it all the time. I think it's a very important tool in my age. I mean, I'm always online, but it separates the two. I mean, you have online and your desktop as well as your mobile, and I think that the separation is key. I think it's a cool thing that Google's doing.
So I'm noticing just got a couple people trickling on into the comment stream here. We have Marcus Dieterle here saying, what? No Google crystal ball, William Rock? And then I also noticed that Deborah Rock is here, and this is an interesting, she said. Before responsive design, people needed to download an application for mobile use. This will now eliminate the need for downloading applications to view sites. Dan, what what Deborah Rock just said, are you aware of that kind of change that's been happening? And then how has that impacted your design services for the clients that you serve?
Well, I think the biggest impact it would be is that there's the philosophy called One Web, and it means that there's one website to rule them all. It's like the One Ring, the Lord of the Rings. And if you search on Twitter or Google Plus for the hashtag OneWeb, you'll find a lot of content around that idea. So you see things like a lot of retail stores, your Lowe's, Home Depot, Walmart, Target, places like that, where they have one website that takes care of all their customers' needs. And so, yeah, because of the people that have been thinking ahead about this, and even small businesses, I helped a local cafe do this, that they have a mobile-ready website, so you don't have to download that business's dedicated app from Google Play or the App Store or wherever just to see their content. The website is just as rich as the app. I think that's maybe the biggest shift. But to kind of go back to what you were saying a minute ago in terms of like, okay, if these businesses are making these websites, and if people like myself are advising people to make responsive websites, or at least mobile-ready websites in some way or another, why are we doing this? And I have to give a couple shout-outs. One is to David Kuchar on Google+. Very active guy, highly recommended circling him. He reminded everyone today about Mobilegeddon, that search engine land, and I think it's Danny Sullivan, back in May of 2014, they published a sort of, pulling together a lot of different research and put together a nice infographic. And just a couple of the stats, and it'll make sense here in a minute, that 90% of mobile users search for local information. And this is all hard data. This isn't guessing or anything like this. Is actual user data. Okay, so 90% of mobile users search for local information. 56 mobile searches carried local intent, and this is the killer. 78% of local mobile searches resulted in an offline purchase. So call to action, I mean, that's huge. Now, what I think the danger might be in reading this data, and you can go circle David Kuchar, and he has a link to Marketing Land's report, but I think one of the dangers in reading this data is to assume that when you think local, you think small business, the pizzeria, the coffee shop, the Mexican place, the Thai place, whatever. But in my world, we do help a lot of small businesses do this sort of thing, and we do get them on Google Maps and make their, even the little cafe down the street, make sure they have a mobile-ready website that gives people what they want, so you go there and order their pancakes. But there's a whole other component to this, and that is the path to purchase for hard goods, for groceries, for things that you're out and about getting for your kids. Here about 2 years ago, maybe 3 now, we started hearing things about showrooming and how people were taking their smartphones into stores, checking out Amazon or some other store while they're looking at a product they wanted to purchase. And in a sense, these big retailers became showrooms for products. And it was because of the mobile device. And I think what might be happening is people are actually using their mobile devices all the way up to the purchase. And yes, it includes coffee, breakfast, pizza, whatever. But it also includes toilet paper. It includes toys. You're getting for the kid's birthday party. You're checking Target's website to see if Walmart truly has the lowest price for that Lego set. Things like that. So I think the whole mobile friendliness it touches everyone. It touches all business if you're looking for those conversions.
Okay, so now let's switch to, you would assume big companies, they have the budgets to do this kind of stuff. But if you're a small or medium-sized business, how much money you feel you can dedicate to getting SEO wise and getting mobile friendly and all your site, that might be a different thing where people are really looking at, when does this matter for me to address it? When does it matter for me to spend money? I want to pause for just a moment because we have a couple people listening, and I do want to acknowledge them. Marcus Dieterle says, I use public transport all the time, and you can see a lot of people using smartphones and tablets for social media and web surfing on the go. It's really practical thanks to the expanding possibilities of mobile internet access. So yeah, Wi-Fi expansion makes a difference too. And then, hold on, Melanie Hall is here. Hi, Melanie. She says she's listening while she's working at her desk. Deborah Rock says, I also think that it's a misconception that people view responsive web design as a penalty. William Rock and I were talking about, she says, William Rock and I were talking about this, and it is not a penalty, but an advantage to the company with a responsive site. Yeah, I would think so. And then Marcus Dieterle is saying, for the developers, maintaining just a single responsive design website is surely easier than regularly updating a website and several mobile apps. It's a good thing that the web browsers on mobile devices come with HTML5 support, which makes responsive web design a little easier. Thank you, Marcus. So, I started out talking, then I thought I'd better check and acknowledge some of the comments. And I'm going to go on over to Molly. Molly, would you like to respond to... Oh, are you there, Molly? There you go. Molly.
Yes, hey, yeah, I'm
Come
here.
back at me here.
Yeah, I'd like to respond just really quickly. Being a developer from way back, even just 2009, when I would design a website, I actually had a program that would show how the website would render in different browsers and different smartphones. And so by the progression of using responsive website design has eliminated that, meaning I now don't have to go look at my website in 25 different smartphones. So right there, that is a huge time saver for developers because they don't have to go and look at each individual style of phone. So going back to what you were talking about, the user experience, it really is about the user experience and making it easy for people to access information from the device. And by using responsive website design, we're able to do that. And it really is as simple as a snippet of code. And the snippet of code is called a viewport tag. And what this tag does is it is what actually makes responsive website design possible. And it really is not a big deal. It's a very simple line of code that is added to a responsive website that makes responsive website design possible.
Well, that is good to know. And now I am wondering, once again, those kind of things that you mentioned, Molly, would those be applicable to like WordPress sites? Because a lot of people who are small businesses starting out, and especially bloggers, once they get set up, they may be doing their own, obviously their content updates on their own. But is that kind of code adjustment something simple enough that once their basic site architecture is set up, they could add that easily?
Well, with WordPress is a content management system, and so really more or less those templates are already preset. So you can go in and customize a WordPress template, but I've warned those who are not code savvy that if you're you're not very familiar on how to go in and manipulate code, I would not recommend doing that. I would recommend just going with the preset templates. Now, WordPress does offer responsive templates. So if you are a WordPress user, I would recommend going out and searching for responsive website templates for WordPress. Now myself, I tend to be more of an HTML person, meaning I like to build everything from scratch. And with that being said, if you are comfortable with coding, then yes, adding the viewport tag it's not really, it literally takes 5 minutes to go in and do. It's just a matter of knowing what it is and where to put the tag within the code.
Okay. Dan, do you have anything to add to that?
Sure. If you're going to take an existing website and you want to maintain your brand equity, and not to mention your SEO equity, in other words, maintain all the searches that you have and stuff like that, you definitely don't want to screw that up by being a novice and trying to go at it. The first thing you should do is contact a good, quality, knowledgeable developer, outline all your plans in writing, and then go to it. It's it's a get what you pay for kind of thing. It's making sure you have a developer that understands responsive and won't screw it up for you.
Okay. And so now I'm going to switch on over to the other kind of side of the fence. You might have brand new solopreneurs. Maybe there's somebody who wants to do some coaching, or they have a small health practice, holistic health practice, and they don't have a lot of income yet, and they may not feel like they can spend thousands of dollars for website design, and they want to set up a site in Wix. I mean, the site that I've had, which is not online right now, but it's a Wix site, and there is a capability there to design your desktop site and then design your mobile site. And for someone who doesn't have much, getting started and having something, and maybe if they only, they don't need a huge site. Maybe they just basically need a landing page for a webinar or a little mini course that they've got. They may not need the expense. So for them, might it be ideal to go to a service like Wix or one of Wix's kind of competitors, where there are templates there that are pretty easy to design from? Anybody want to take that up? Nobody. Somebody.
There's a lot of opportunities out there. I mean, you need just to work with your host. Where you're hosting your website is going to be key to working with that responsive opportunity, right? So look into what they have to offer. And I think if Wix is one of those opportunities out there, or other tools that you can build your website to make it easy for you at the same time as building something that's user-friendly is going to be key too, right? I mean, the end of the day is we want conversions. We want people to be able to communicate with our business.
Right. And so, okay, so if I'm starting out and I'm setting something up with Wix, or something like that, or something pretty simple, what I would want to be conveying is, what is the benefit of my business and service? And can I present it in a design way that has the feel or vibe of me, of my person, and of my business, so that even if I only have a couple pages up, they're going to get a sense of me. And if they can get it mobile, and I don't have a lot of pages, we then make a good first connection. I mean, does that make sense, William?
Absolutely. I mean, it's the connection piece, right? I mean, if they're coming from a mobile or a PC or anything technology-wise, at the end of the day, did they contact you? Did they build that engagement opportunity connection? And if not, then what happened? And we look back in our analytics, and there's a lot of different things we can see to view that type of data. But anyhow.
Yeah. Dan, in your article, that I came across, you had a very interesting quote from Jason T. Weiser.
Yeah.
You remember that one offhand, or want to address what he said? Because he's a real beloved guy here on Google Plus.
Oh yeah. The idea that he proposed is really not new. I first encountered this idea when I was doing some design and branding work with one of the vendors for Kroger. They're the largest grocery store chain owner in the United States. And what Kroger found out, and I'll just use this analogy, and I'll come back to what Jason said, but what Kroger found out is that by carrying certain underperforming products, they could attract people who ended up having larger cart sizes. So they might sell this underperforming, slow cured bacon that might not move off the shelf very much, but the people who buy that product end up having a much larger overall cart size than the people who buy the cheap bacon. So in Jason's analogy, he said, look, if only 27 or 23% of your customers are coming from mobile, then that's worth it, because those customers may in fact be the 23% that are converting the highest. So just because you're getting a smaller number coming to your website doesn't really mean anything. You need to really kind of drill down deeper first.
Yeah, thank you. That's interesting food for thought. Marcus Dieterle has given us something else to look at, so let's read this one on up. He says, I downloaded 2 web design packages for my iMac to try out about 2 weeks ago, as I'm thinking about creating a new website, and I didn't want to code everything from scratch. Both offer some responsive design templates, either as part of the software package or at least as an additional download. I think choosing responsive design for a new site is the smart thing to do. So what I'm really happy about is that I'm getting more familiar with this whole verbiage, RWD, responsive website design. It just like user experience. It just wasn't in my language system until a couple years ago. But this new one apparently is the key word, to be remembering for what we want to do. So if we're looking at Wix or different places, or maybe we're having a consult, Molly, with somebody like you, or somebody like Ann, or somebody like William, who really can lead you to things to keep in mind, even if you ultimately want to be doing a lot yourself because you feel like you don't have a lot of money to turn everything over to a developer. Molly.
Right. And just to add some insights into that, Elaine, I get this question all the time from new clients because they understand the importance of having an optimized website, meaning it's optimized for search engines and that it has a responsive design, but the cost is always a big concern with them. And so one of the things that I've actually implemented for my agency is I try to work with customers in the sense that instead of coming up with this huge, it's going to cost you $5,000 for a website, is I explain to them the importance of the techniques that we use to optimize the website and the reason why we need a responsive website design. But instead of charging everything up front, I dissect it into a retainer type of situation where it's a very small retainer to begin the work, because that forms a relationship with the client that I do know how to provide the service that you need, but at the same time, they receive the service. So it's a win-win situation for the client and myself. And then I work with businesses on a budget, meaning we try to determine what is the comfortable number for you every month. Is it $50? Is it $200? What's the comfortable budget for a client to get the work done, but at the same time get the bill paid? And I found by implementing this model that it's created a win-win situation for clients because they get the work done, they get the correct SEO that they need done for their website, they get the responsive website design, they get all the bells and whistles that a business needs in order to succeed online, but at the same time, it's done affordably, whatever they determine their budget is.
Interesting. Dan, you're nodding your head.
It's a smart way to do it. It's almost exactly how we do it, but on the branding side, of getting the visuals right and getting, the web is one spoke in the brand wheel. The web presence is one thing. We focus on consumer packaging and the brand identity and blah blah blah. So there's other things that we're focusing on too. But yeah, it's building that trust, showing that you can do what you are saying that you can do, and then going out and over delivering and going way past expectations in terms of what the client gets in the end.
Yeah. So I'm curious. Before I came on the show today, I really did not scroll or search very much through Google Plus or other social media, but has there been different kind of jib jabber going on today? Have any of you done any searches from your desktop, from your mobile, to make comparisons, or even places that you think you may have searched before? Does anybody do any testing? Like, what's the conversation really happening today, Molly?
Yeah, I have been doing searching all day for my clients. I do this on a regular basis for them. Once I get a website optimized, I want to make sure that they stay on top of the pack, And so I regularly go and do a search from mobile and desktop just to make sure that my clients haven't been affected by the algorithm. So far, so good. No major shifts in my clients and their positions, but it's something that as a developer, if you've got clients, you definitely need to stay on the up and up and search for mobile and desktop to make sure that whoever your clients are, that they are not affected by the algorithm.
William, you've been quiet for a little while, and I know you had your dogs barking for a while, so you're back.
It's a little bit of confusion back and forth, but one of the things that fantastic conversation. What I want to point out though is analytics. Look at your guys' analytics to go back into what devices are actually connecting to your website. Looking at simple things like how much time they're spending on the website with that device. The other point is are they bouncing? When they come to your website from an iPhone or a Nexus 5, what happens at the end? Did they actually continue through your website? Did they go to the contact page? Did they buy something from your website? But at the end of the day, look at those stats, and you're going to see a differentiation of what, especially if you go, like I've got one screen open right now. If you go into your Google Analytics and you go under Audience on your left-hand panel, and you'll see down at Mobile, you'll see Overview and Devices. If you click on Overview, it gives you a great description of, okay, desktop, mobile, and tablet. So you'll see the only thing that's going to be affected in this algorithm, or not algorithm, but this update is going to be mobile. So if I have more of my desktop than mobile, I have an opportunity to work on that mobile opportunity to increase my business and my reach. And so I think it's an opportunity for every business out there in the world.
Okay, and Molly, in a minute, I'm going to jump back over to you, but back to, again, the newbies, or you could even say the cheapies like me. Like, I know within Wix, you can access Google Analytics. Have I done that? No. Do I need to learn how to do that? Yes. So this thing about analytics is really important for everybody to grasp the basics about. So in other words, so you as a website owner can get a handle on what's making a difference. Molly.
I'm going to second what you and both William said about analytics. It is so important as a business owner to be able to dissect the data that your website is drawing in. It is a wealth of information. You can test out different campaigns. You can implement remarketing tactics. You can really dissect, as William mentioned. You can go and look at the different devices. You can look at your bounce rate. Your bounce rate is super important. Just quickly, bounce rate, that's how long somebody stays on your website. So if you have a high bounce rate, Well, that means somebody popped on your website and they said, that's okay, and they left. And well, we don't want that. We want somebody to stay on our website a long time. So it's important to monitor your bounce rate because we want people, again, to have a good user experience. And Google Analytics is a great tool to be able to share insights about what's going on with your website, where are they coming from, what are they doing on their website, and overall, and the most important is, are they converting? Have you set up goals? Have you set up funnels? Are they converting? Are they clicking a document you may have on your website? Are they completing a contact form? What is the customer doing on your website? So Google Analytics is a great tool. That's all I'm going to say about it because I could talk a whole hour about Google Analytics. So that's all I'm going to say. Thanks.
Can I add one thing though?
Yeah, go ahead, William. Then I'm going to jump on over to Dan if he wants to throw something in, and then we're going to be at wind-up time already, and invitations into the Flocker Room if anybody wants to join in. So go ahead, William.
Yeah, the other area that I would suggest is people look into their Google Webmaster Tools. Most of them have already received a message from their email in the tool if your site is not mobile friendly, and it has suggestions in there to help identify the problems that are associated, maybe too small font and everything else. But you can also just log into your Webmaster Tools and go down to mobile usability, and you'll see everything that they have to tell you about your website. So that's all I wanted.
That's great. That's good. Dan, was there anything related to that you wanted to chime in with before we do our kind of round-robin closing?
Yeah, I would just circle back and say that this is probably one of the benefits to hiring a professional. I know one of the things that my company, Brand Shepherd, does is for those clients of ours where search is a priority, and I should throw that out there that sometimes search is not a priority. We have probably 50% of the websites we create that they're more or less just validation tools that most of the commerce and conversions are happening offline. So not every website needs a call to action. But for those that do, there's going into Google Analytics, what we'll do is we'll set up a Google Hangout like this, a private one, and we'll go through the dashboard and create a custom dashboard. And what we call it is the Key Point Indicators KPI report. And we'll set it up so that they and we receive that report once a week for 6 months and be able to just meet on a regular basis and go over that report and then talk about the things that they want to talk about, and I can point out things that I think should be addressed and monitored or acted on. So I think that's maybe one of the things about working with a professional that might be not going it alone. Tools like Wix are great. They probably give the solopreneur what the solopreneur thinks they want, but they don't always deliver what the customer needs in terms of earning trust. So hiring a professional gets that kind of thing to give you actionable items, real data to act on through Google Analytics reports.
Yeah, and Dan, I'm really glad that you even brought up the whole picture of how a professional engages with their client in doing this. You got your screen shares up. You're using this beautiful tool of Google Hangouts where if you're giving instruction on what they can do, you're not doing it all the time for them. You're giving them instruction, that might be the way you have the most cost-effective relationship.
We use Google Plus Hangouts for meetings. We record private Hangouts when we create a new WordPress website, and we've created a custom theme. I'll record, or one of my staff will record, a private Google Hangout that walks through the features, and we'll post it as an unlisted private video on YouTube so that our clients can go back and retrain themselves and train their staff on how to use their proprietary custom WordPress theme through this lovely tool.
Okay. Before I do round robin to close with everybody, Marcus Dieterle, I just want to acknowledge him because he's given us some really nice responses during the show. He says, apart from responsive design, insight navigation is also a critical part in mobile-friendly web design. Clicking on a standard link on a page can be tricky on the small screen of a smartphone, and not everybody will be engaged enough. Where is it? Well, and not. I lost it. Comment tracker hell. I want to unpin this now. Oh, not everybody will be engaged enough to pinch zoom into the page just in order to access a simple link. Yeah. Okay. So that's key. All right. So here on our MFing day, mobile friendly, so that you can build mobile flockers to your business, to your service. That's what we've been talking about today. We're going to do a round robin because the time went so fast. Let me start out with Molly. Just kind of wrap up a key point or something you would like to leave people with.
Yeah, I'd just like to leave people with that there are a lot of great tools out there that can help a business get your business online and mobile friendly. I would second that if you have any questions, reach out to a professional. I know if it's just a general question, I'm available to answer. If you feel like you need a little bit more assistance with your mobile website, I definitely recommend contacting a professional. But it more or less is about the customer experience, and as a business owner, it's very, very important to make that experience not only very easy for them, but make it very friendly and inviting so that it will encourage them to come back and not only visit your website, but it will help them advertise your website, because if they have a friendly user experience, they're going to tell their friends and their family about your website as well.
Yeah, great. And do you have a lower third? Where can people find you? What's your company name? How can people find you?
Design Right for You is the name of my company, and the website's the same. It's just designright4u.com.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Mr. Dan.
Yes.
Some final thoughts, overview, and how can people get in touch with you?
I think the big takeaway from today, and I posted this over on dancrass.com about 2 weeks ago, called "What is a mobile-friendly website and why does it matter?" I'd encourage people to go read that. But the big takeaway from today is that this search only affects smartphones for now. We saw Facebook years ago say that only smartphones were mobile devices, and then a couple years later they said, "Oh no, wait, tablets are too." Keep in mind that Google makes mobile devices that are tablets, so they're kind of talking out of both sides of their mouth with that one. But in terms of search, this change today only affects smartphones. I think the biggest takeaway, though, is that Google's making a significant change in response to a trend, and that trend is that people are searching on their devices more and more. If you go to a store, just take note of how many people are searching on their phone or looking at their phone. Maybe they're making a grocery list or something like that, a shopping list, wherever they're at. So clearly mobile's here to stay. It's just a matter of how are we going to get our content found. If you'd like some help getting that content found and getting kind of some work on your brand as a whole, take a stroll through brandshepherd.com. That's the business that I and my wife own. We're in our 7th year of business, and we're having a lot of fun with the clients we get to serve on a daily basis, and we'll help you out.
That's great. Okay, William.
Yes, lots of good takeaways. I even learned a lot of stuff today too. But what I want to pull away from this is check out your analytics, check out your Google Webmaster Tools. But first, just go out to do a Google search for mobile-friendly test. You'll run across the link, and it's basically just put your URL into it, your website address, and it'll tell you if you are or you're not. So that'll actually ease a little bit of your attention to understand and they'll give you the suggestions that you need to do to fix them and work with those professionals. So fantastic show today.
Okay, what I want to do, so you're going to see me looking down for just a moment. I am putting the link into the comment stream. If Marcus or if there are others who are nearby want to come on into the Flocker room, that's what I call our green room. Hold on. Bear with me. And in just a moment, I'm going to tell you about World Laughter Day, what I got coming up. There's the Flocker room link. So after we go off broadcast, anyone that is hanging around wants to come in and chat with us, please do. Okay, so my big takeaway is that Google Analytics are something that I can use to really understand what kind of responses I'm getting from people who are visiting my site, and I can learn whether I have broken links that aren't working and different kinds of stuff. And so I'm motivated to do that, and I'm motivated to have to pay for some counsel that I kind of haven't been willing to pay for before, because there are some good folks out there, and I will feel my way along. And once again, this whole thing is about two things. It's about experiencing relationship in win-win ways. It's about having good user experiences, know, liking, and trusting, and so where can you folks get in touch with me if you want to, see what's going on with the Holy Shift Show? Since my website's a little off right now, you can always find me at google.com/plus Elaine Nieberding. Elaine Nieberding, ding, ding. That is my name. And I am a holistic nurse and teacher of laughter yoga. Last year, I pioneered uniting the world in laughter via live stream programming of this event that's been going on for, I don't know, about 18 years, called World Laughter Day. We're doing it again on May 3rd, and I'm going to be hosting 3 Hangout webinar events, which will allow a lot of people around the world to participate. What I'm going to be doing this year is actually, I think I'm going to be setting them up to access them via Webinar Jam. And so I want to invite my Google Plus friends and my Hangout friends. I'm going to be setting up a couple events in the next couple days where I'm practicing using Webinar Jam, because I want to see if I can get the savvy to use that and maybe reach a broader audience with some engagement rather than just straight Hangouts. So if you want to play, keep your eyes out, because I will have some Webinar Jam events, and I want some of my friends to come in and practice with me. So, Molly, thank you, my dear, for being with us to talk about Mobilegeddon and MFing Day. And Dan, thank you so much once again for, yes, and your beard really is red. Yes, you have as your tagline on your profile. I love it. And William, I guess you're there tending the dog or taking in a deep breath to get more comfortable. And I'm going to say sayonara to everybody right now. Thank you for tuning into the Holy Shift Show. Next Tuesday, which is the 28th of April, we will be doing a preview for the World Laughter Day. And so if you have little experience learning about this, what is intentional laughter, why should we use it for health, why we should connect with this universal human language, tune into this show to help you get ready for helping wake up the world with laughter on World Laughter Day. Thanks, everybody. I hope a couple of you can come on into the Flocker Room. See ya. Thanks for your loving attention. So long.